They thought her silence meant weakness. They thought her simple clothes and quiet smile meant she had nothing. But what they didn't know was that one phone call would flip their world upside down. I still remember that wedding day like it was yesterday. Bright lights, music, laughter. Everything was supposed to be perfect. My daughter, Priya, stood beside her groom, her eyes glowing with dreams of a happy future. She looked like an angel in her wedding dress. But behind all the beauty, I could feel the tension. I could see the sideways glances, the whispered jokes, the smirks from her in-laws. They looked at me, a simple widow in a faded sari, no gold jewelry, no heavy makeup. To them, I was nothing but a poor burden, an embarrassment in front of their rich friends. I overheard one of them whisper, "How unfortunate! Such a grand wedding, but the bride's mother looks like a servant." My heart sank, but I stayed quiet. For Priya's happiness, I swallowed my pain. Little did they know, silence is often the calm before the storm. And my storm was about to arrive with just one phone call.
Life was never easy for me. My husband passed away when Priya was just 10 years old. From that day, I became both mother and father. We lived in a small rented house and I worked day and night, teaching tuitions, stitching clothes, even cleaning houses, just to make sure my daughter had everything she needed. Priya was bright. She worked hard, studied hard, and eventually got a good job in the city. It was her dream to marry a man who would respect her, value her, and treat me like family. When she introduced me to Arjun, I thought her dream had come true. He was charming, polite, and came from a well-off family. At least, that's what he showed us. But during the wedding preparations, I started noticing little things. His mother making snide remarks, his relatives questioning every small expense, and his father comparing our gifts to theirs. I ignored it all because I thought love could conquer it. But I was wrong.
The wedding day came. The hall was decorated with gold drapes and flowers worth lakhs. The son-in-law's family flaunted their wealth, their jewelry, their connections. And then there was me, standing quietly with just a simple chain around my neck and a smile on my face. It started small. His aunt commented loudly, "Look at the bride's mother, not even wearing proper gold. Doesn't she feel ashamed?"
Then someone else added, "They must have spent all their savings on the hall. Poor thing, she has nothing left for herself." They laughed, they mocked, and worst of all, they did it where Priya could hear. I saw the tears in her eyes as she tried to hide behind her veil. That broke me. My daughter, the girl I raised with so much love, was being humiliated on her most special day. At that moment, I made a decision. Enough was enough.
I stepped out quietly, pretending to answer a normal phone call. But this was no ordinary call. For years, I had kept a secret. While everyone thought I was just a struggling widow, very few knew that I had built strong connections through my work. One of my former students was now a successful business tycoon. He treated me like a mother and always told me, "Ma'am, if you ever need anything, one call is enough."
And that day, I made that call. "Beta," I said softly, "I don't usually ask for favors, but today I need you." He didn't ask questions. Within an hour, luxury cars rolled into the wedding venue. Men in suits stepped out, carrying gifts, envelopes, and boxes. The entire atmosphere shifted. Everyone froze. The same people who mocked me stood there, wide-eyed, as the business tycoon himself walked in, touched my feet and said, "Ma, you should have told me earlier. I would have hosted this wedding myself."
The hall fell silent. Arjun's family looked shocked. Their smug faces turned pale. The businessman announced, "This wedding will now be remembered forever, not because of wealth, but because of the woman who raised Priya single-handedly." He then revealed how I had helped him when he was a struggling student, feeding him when he had no money, tutoring him for free, encouraging him when everyone else gave up.
Suddenly, all eyes were on me. The whispers changed from insults to praises. People who had ignored me were now coming forward to shake my hand, to thank me, to admire me. And Priya? Her tears were now tears of pride. She held my hand tightly and whispered, "You've always been my hero, Amma."
But the real glow came next. The tycoon, while addressing the guests, casually remarked, "It's strange how some people measure worth only in gold and money. They forget that true wealth is kindness, sacrifice, and respect." Everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Arjun's family stood there, red-faced, unable to speak. The same relatives who mocked me were now being mocked themselves, silently by the entire crowd. Their reputation shattered in seconds. They had wanted to humiliate me, but instead they humiliated themselves.
From that day, everything changed. Priya and Arjun moved into their own house away from his toxic family. Arjun, to his credit, apologized and promised to never let his family disrespect me again. As for me, I realized something important. Silence is not weakness. Dignity is not poverty. And sometimes revenge doesn't require shouting or fighting. It only requires truth to be revealed at the right time.
So what's the lesson here? Never judge someone by their clothes, their jewelry, or their bank balance. True respect comes from character, sacrifice, and love. And if someone ever mocks you for being poor, remember, wealth can vanish in seconds, but dignity lasts forever. Because in the end, the mother they mocked became the queen of that wedding, and her one call changed everything. Where are you watching this from? USA? UK? Canada? However you found this story, I'm glad you did. If it touched you, hit like, share it with someone close, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story.